Isaac once said, "Do not fear people with autism, embrace them. Do not spite people with autism, unite them. Do not deny people with autism, accept them, for then their abilities will shine." Autism is a subject that is not greatly known. More people are familiar with Down syndrome when autism is more widespread. To understand more about the diagnosis of autism, the first thing discussed will be what autism is, second, their symptoms, and lastly, the different types. Autism. Always unique, totally interesting, sometimes mysterious. Autism is a mental condition that was once only referred to as pervasive developmental disorder. People with autism have difficulties with communicating, forming relationships, and using language and abstract concepts. Autism is a group of complex disorders of brain activity. Autism also varies widely with the severity and symptoms. People with autism have difficulties with motor coordination, attention, and health issues. A type of health issue can be with sleeping. They excel, though, with visual skills, music, math, and art. With the point of knowing what autism is, we can now look at its symptoms. The symptoms vary between social communication deficits and repetitive behaviors, along with intellectual disabilities and becoming irritated more often. The symptoms are shown between 12 to 36 months. At age 1, they do not speak with one word, they do not babble, and they do not point to an object. At age 2, they do not use the use of 2 words. If you say their name, they will not respond because they lack language and social skills. They do not make eye contact, and when they play with toys, they play with them inappropriately. They tend to attach to one toy or object, causing them to zone off and focus on specific things. If you smile at them, they will not smile back. If you want them to listen, they tend to not listen because they have hearing problems. Their body language is hard to follow. Their facial movement and gestures don't match with what they are trying to say or show. Along with that, they flap their hands and recite phrases over and over again. Also, they have the inability to interact with others. They lack awareness. They have difficulties in change, and they become oversensitive and undersensitive with sounds. For example, I work with autistic kids, and one girl, when she goes to the bathroom, when she flushes the toilet, she does this because the sound is too loud for her. Autism can be broken down into different types through autism spectrum disorder. In an article, Autism Spectrum Disorder, it states that autism spectrum disorder is a relatively new term that encompasses autism and similar disorders that is gradually replacing the term pervasive developmental disorder. The 3 types of diagnosis are Asperger's syndrome, autistic disorder, and pervasive developmental disorder. People with Asperger's syndrome are found to be in boys 3 times more likely than girls. Asperger's syndrome is a symptom that is the mildest. People who have Asperger's are awkward and uncoordinated. Autistic disorder is the most severe kind. They suffer with impairments in social and language. Along with that, they suffer with mental retardation and seizures. Pervasive developmental disorder is the disorder that is more common. It is more severe than Asperger's, but not severe as autistic disorder. People with pervasive developmental disorder have impaired social interaction, and their language is better than autistic disorder, but not as great as Asperger's. And they also have fewer behaviors. From Autism Spectrum Disorder Health Center, it states that no two children are exactly alike in symptoms. In fact, there are no agreed upon criteria for diagnosing pervasive developmental disorder. People with autistic disorders are a very special kind of people. With autism being more widespread than Down syndrome, it is important for people to know exactly what autism is, the symptoms that follow, and the different types of disorders that can be diagnosed with. If there's ever a time you come in contact with a person who has autism, remember, do not fear people with autism, embrace them. Do not spite people with autism, unite them. Do not deny people with autism, accept them, for then their abilities will shine.